Um, I'm here talking to Sam Lyman, who was a member of the Mayor's Youth Leadership Council. She's going to tell us more about that. But hi, Sam. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. So, first of all, what sort of connection do you have to the issue of domestic abuse?
Well, in high school, I was part of Mayor's Youth Leadership Council, which um, we did a lot to help stop teen dating violence and bullying. So I was exposed to a lot of um, things along
Okay.
the lines of dating violence.
What did you guys do to try and get the word out about this teen dating violence?
We did a lot of demonstrations around the hallways and around the area in our high school. We would do things that caught people's attention, holding up signs, anything that would make people stop and read the signs to make sure they understood that teen dating violence was very prominent in their own high school.
And how was this usually received by the students?
Students were a little bit taken back at first because we used very blunt signs and language, but after they were taken back, they definitely understood what the issue was, and it was very eye-catching.
Did you think it was a really relevant issue, like in your high school or in like youth culture in general?
Yes, it is a very relevant issue in youth culture in general, because people don't think it happens often, but it actually happens everywhere around you.
Do you think it's
And
more like mental or physical?
I think it could be both. It could be physical, but I think that it's also a lot of the time mental, and that's why people don't think it's as serious or as alarming when it's just like name calling or abusing someone mentally, but it could be just as harmful to the person.
Do you know anybody who is in an abusive relationship, like personally, or no?
I don't really know anyone that has been in physically abusive relationship, but definitely mentally, because I think that is more you can catch it like with your friends. Maybe sometimes with physically abuse in relationships, you don't really, they want to keep it to themselves, which is
Mm-hmm.
not good. But yeah.
Did you ever like address this person about things like that, or did they come to you, or?
Yeah, one of my friends who was in kind of a relationship where he wasn't treating her very well came to me about it, and I gave just advice to obviously talk about it, tell someone about it, because it's not good and not healthy to be
Was
in a
your was
relationship.
your counseling center at school like really helpful with that, or?
Yes, there were a lot of counseling options at the school, especially with milk. You could come to someone within the organization, and they could help you as well.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Was there any legislation passed that regarding the issue? Like, do you think it's something discussed more in the government or in the community?
Well, I think it is discussed more in the community, and that's why we want to have more legislation passed on it, because it's a very important issue that needs to be dealt with. I went to Hartford a couple years ago to try and get legislation passed for restraining orders in the high schools, because there wasn't anything with like teacher on student and student on teacher restraining orders, so that was a big thing.
And how'd that turn out?
It was passed.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Would you say usually the abuser is more like the male or the female? Or both?
I think that people think that it's usually the male on a female, but I think that it can be both female on male and male on female.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think the media has any effect on what we perceive as okay in relationships?
I do. I think that a lot of the time you see, like on reality television or just on TV anywhere, that relationships are very dysfunctional, and it kind of paints a picture that it's okay, but it definitely isn't.
All right, well, that's all I have for you today, but thank you for talking to me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.